What's up, everybody? Thanks for tuning in. It's the first episode of the Eavesdropping Houseguests podcast with Matt Boucher and Jess Lipson. I'm Jess. That's Matt. And
How's it going?
yeah, finally, this is exciting. This is exciting stuff.
I feel like we've been talking about doing this for like a month now. You posted on Instagram and I was like half joking like, oh, we should do a podcast about Big Brother. And now here we are.
No, I know. Honestly, when you sent that, I was like, that's just what I need. Someone else to do a Big Brother show with, because I was doing one and then I would just stop after like 2 episodes because I was like, nobody watches and I'm not motivated by myself.
I watch.
I appreciate that. But yeah, so this is the the Eavesdropping Houseguests podcast, where we kind of, just talk Big Brother. Every week we'll probably post one a week. Maybe we don't want to get ahead of ourselves yet. This is just the first one, but Big Brother's every single 3 times a week, so it's kind of hard to make it timely. So I feel like most logically one a week works out fine.
Yeah. And I think the hopefully every Saturday, I think that's a good timeline, because with the BB timeline of head of household on Sunday, power veto Wednesday, and eviction on Thursday, we can recap the weeks and then preview the next week. So it's right in between the stopping points.
Totally. And speaking of the BB timeline, it's a little different this season. Starting halfway into the summer, not way more than halfway into the summer. And it's gonna be the longest season yet. So that makes sense.
Yeah. And it's I'm thankful for that, more Big Brother, but also like Big Brother is such a perfect throughout the summer thing.
Literally.
Usually for me, it's watch Big Brother and then it ends, and then now it's football, and then football can get me through school.
Yeah.
But I just had to go through the first half of the summer without Big Brother.
Yeah, and it's if you're a football fan, it's the worst days because it's Thursday and Sunday.
Yeah.
Wait, yeah, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Alrighty. But yeah, so we kind of just need to talk about our thoughts, predictions, and kind of reactions to everything. And yeah, kind of hope you guys enjoy.
How long have you been watching Big Brother for?
Oh yeah, that's good. I've been watching Big Brother since season 16, when Cody and Derek, the hitmen, ran through. Yeah, that was so sick. And then I went back and I watched seasons. I didn't watch season 1. I watched the first episode of that, realized it was not what it the show of Big Brother. I don't know if you know that. And then I saw seasons 2 through 5. And yeah, so I've seen a few of them, more than half of the seasons, but I definitely think that the lore for all past seasons is going to be spoiled this year. It seems like BB25, they're going to just be throwing out former champs, and I'm going to be like, oh, I now know you won. But how long have you watched?
Ever since 2009. So I'm trying to think of what season that was. But that was a big year for me. That was when I
season 10, or is that way too early?
That sounds about right.
Yeah, because I feel like it started in 99, maybe. So maybe 11. I don't know.
I think it might have been 11.
Okay.
That was Jeff.
Okay. Have you seen any of the first through 10 seasons, or you didn't go back?
Bits and pieces, but not enough that I can be like, oh yeah, the season 6 winner is.
Yeah.
I saw. I don't know if you saw when they were interviewing a bunch of people from recent seasons and saying how many house guest winners or Big Brother winners can you name in 60 seconds, and Tyler was rattling off. I think he got to 13. Josh got 15. It's I wouldn't be able to do that.
I don't know, because honestly, I feel like maybe the ones that even the ones I watched, I don't even know if I could go back in 60 seconds.
Yeah,
maybe we'll do that. We should do that.
Yeah, but not right now. Let me
okay,
let me study.
Alrighty, so we got 17 house guests this year. That's more than most seasons. With a survivor house guest and a brother or a son and a mom.
Yeah, a completely new dynamic that we've literally never seen before.
Yeah,
Like
and
sometimes like in seasons like they'll bring like a house guest midway through, like that'll be a twist, but like the 17th is like it it throws me off.
yeah, totally. And like them being both in the house at the same time too is interesting because I had a family twist. I mean, there's been a few family twists I've seen, but the main one I think is the twin twist where it was like the Lindsay and whatever.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Oh, that
they
was
kept
sick.
switching like show, so they weren't
Yeah.
in the house together at the same time. This is interesting because like we'll get into it more, but like they're on completely different sides of the house.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like sick in their favor.
Yeah.
Can't believe nobody like all these people act like the biggest fans of reality television on CBS, and only one of them know it's her. Like that's her.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Did I want to talk about it, but I think we'll get there.
Okay. Okay.
We
Yeah.
should we are
All right.
gotta dive
So
back in.
in the 17 house guests, we have. I mean it's kind of early, but do you have any favorites?
Favorites. Hmm. I anytime there's an athlete or a celebrity that's named Matt, I kind of
Mm.
take after him, and like he's an Olympic swimmer and it's also deaf. So like Matt Klotz is like he's cool. I think he's up there, and so far he's kind of been under the radar. Like I
Mhm.
feel like he hasn't been making too much of a name for himself, but like he can definitely hold his own. And so I think he's my favorite, and I would predict him to take it right now.
Wow, wow. Yeah, I don't I guess probably just because he's been so under the radar. You're not gonna like my power rankings right now yet for him. But
No.
where I have his power rank. But it's so early, like
Yeah.
it's
I also really
and
like
you can't play hard like right away.
yeah.
Like what
And
he's
we
doing
saw that somebody did play too hard, and
literally first eviction. Oh, that's tough. That's tough. And you gotta wonder like usually people like she knew almost after like day two Kirsten that she was going home, but we'll move on. Let's stick
yeah,
with the cast members really quick.
yeah.
We got so we have a blue and a red.
We
That's
have a blue and a red. That's so sick.
right.
I really love Red. He seems
Yeah.
so fun. Like I want to go get a beer with him.
Yeah, him and Cameron seem like the dynamic
Yeah,
that I like. I'm gonna be in love with this season. Um
yeah,
he it's such a diverse, it's like the craziest diverse cast we've seen, and we it's been like that moving up, and especially age wise this year I feel like,
yeah,
and that's already playing a huge part in Big Brother. I feel like people have noticed that in the past, probably just like oh, like our favorite old guys getting voted off. I have a bunch of coworkers who watches too, and they're all like in their 40s and 50s, and it's like my guy like who I'm rooting for like around my age is getting voted
yeah,
off right away. And I mean, for me at least, I mean, I noticed it, but it really didn't hit hard for me because I'm like, I'm not, who
yeah,
cares? Who
yeah,
cares? It's
yeah,
great to see. It's good to see this year. And
yeah,
Tyson is like the we can show that the older people
yeah.
too. And I'm like, okay.
They, I want to talk more of like, but we should continue to going through the cast.
Okay, Corey, kind of annoying. He's super
Yeah,
annoying, in my opinion. Just like we get it, you went to the nether region. Let's stop talking about it.
yeah. My mom, although my mom compared him to me. And like
Oh,
I was texting her. I was like, yeah, this guy's kind of like this kid's kind of annoying. And she's like, yeah, he reminds me a lot like you. I was like, but like I think he's very smart, and the fact that he's a persuasive speaker like should work to his advantage. But that first encounter that he had with Siri, like that like rubbed me the wrong way, and it rubbed her the wrong way. Like
yeah,
he's like, yeah, they had to find four different ways to get you out of Survivor. It's like, why are you telling her that?
yeah, 100%. And I also feel like while he makes like overall connections with people, like he's like,
Yeah,
oh, I like Corey. I don't know if he's like teaming up one on one or like with a
yeah,
group of three. Like
yeah,
he's for the handful. We'll go into it, but like the handful, it was like so easy for them to bring him in because it was like, okay, we're not gonna have a real personal connection.
yeah,
I don't want to like talk. I mean, it's just so easy when you go through the characters to
yeah,
talk about their thing. But Siri, we talked about Siri.
yeah.
Felicia, is that how you say it?
Alicia.
Felicia. I feel
Felicia.
like it's like a little different than normally.
Yeah, because the phrase "bye Felicia," like she changed it to her name, so it's got to be like "bye Felicia."
Felicia,
Felicia.
I think. Okay, who
All
cares?
right. I
She,
like her. She's cool.
yeah, she is cool, and she seems super smart. Like she knows what.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, Heisem. I mean, dude seems like might be like early favorite in my opinion.
Yeah.
He just has to have good strategy because he seems
Mhm.
like a lovable guy who's good at
Yeah.
conversations.
Yeah, everyone and he's really smart too. Like he made it seem like he's just like a nurse, but he's a full on like surgeon, right? Like he's athletic and I think he's gonna be good at comps. So like I mean, and
Is he a
everybody loves him.
dancer?
What?
Does he dance? I feel like I've heard
Yeah,
people.
yeah. And he's
Right?
like the night dancer or something.
Okay. He like walks around like he like walks like a dancer, but not.
Yeah,
But now we got Izzy.
yeah,
Izzy's interesting. You know, if you watch the most recent episode where Siri kind of talked about Izzy and was like, she's a loose cannon and everything, I completely see that. You know,
yeah,
where like when the going gets tough, Izzy could it might not work out. But you know, she
yeah,
made friends. I mean, she until she's out of the house, she's in a better position than Jared and Siri because
yeah.
they need her.
Because she could expose them so easily, and I think that's what's playing on the loose cannon type of thing. Because like they immediately saw Siri, and she pulled Jared away immediately. Like
Mhm.
she could have saw Siri, saw Jared, and made that connection. It was like, all right, let me before I jump into them.
Yeah,
Like she could have sat down, thought about like what's the way that she should play this, but she immediately pulled Jared aside. Was like, "You're her son."
that's
And
so
like she
right.
was saying it so loud too. I thought one of the other house guests was
Right?
gonna hear her.
That's a really good point. Like we've seen it. Yeah. Like
Like she could have like waited for people to start making connections and be like, "Oh, like you're getting along with Jared pretty well." I'm
mm,
like,
yeah. And like part of me is like, okay, she just must also be like the biggest Siri fan in turn. I mean, not for nothing, Corey also knew Siri
yeah,
history, but like to know and see Jared is her son, like immediately notice that. Like
yeah,
you're probably just like, oh my gosh, like that's Siri who I like am such a big fan of. But like you're right, like there's so much better way of going about that.
yeah,
Granted, I mean, it seemed like Siri and Jared kind of talked about how they would handle that, and Jared kind of handled it pretty well. And I mean,
yeah,
if Izzy's going to be such a big fan of Siri,
yeah,
it's not surprising that Siri's like, please don't say it, and Izzy's like, I will do whatever you say. You
yeah.
know,
So like Izzy can hang that over their heads, and that might like want to drive Jared and Siri to get her out of the house. But if they start trying to take her down, she's just gonna be like, "You guys are mom and son."
yeah, literally. It showed me in the first. We'll move on. We'll go back to them.
Yeah.
No,
Jab.
no, no
Oh,
way. Let me just talk about it while we're on it. But it made me wonder, like, if it's a how much of an advantage or disadvantage is it being in the house? Because like, if anybody knows that they're related, they're
it's an
immediately
immediate target. Yeah.
immediately. But it's such an advantage right now. Like
Yeah.
it,
Oh yeah.
like they're you could argue that them two are running the house more or less in terms of like the handful of five who were in power went the way that Siri wanted them to vote. Like Siri and that side of the house wanted to vote. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I
And
don't know.
like the fact that Jared is a part of the eight on the one side,
Mhm.
it's kind of like Siri's also a part of it because Jared is telling her everything there is to
Every
know. And like we're gonna get into who was evicted, but the person that was evicted, you could put the blood on Jared's hands
yeah.
because like Jared immediately went to Siri and was like, "This person wanted to do this alliance so fast," and Siri was like, "Oh well, she also came up to me," so it's
Mhm.
like them too, like
Yeah, and at
basically
what
took them
point
down.
do you think Jared would ever keep anything from his mom? Like, do you think he should keep anything
No,
from his mom?
I don't think he will.
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
don't
unless
think
it's
he
like a
will
showman.
too. And I kept thinking to myself, like, if I was playing with my mom, would I just tell her everything? Especially if she was a reality show winner. Probably, but I have to think to myself, like, Siri's definitely not telling Jared everything. Everything that's going on the other side.
Yeah.
I feel like I just know, like, she's just too smart to tell
Yeah.
everybody. Like, she knows her son talks way too much too.
Yeah, yeah. I was about to point that out. Like, it was funny, like seeing her like be a mom to him and be like, keep your mouth down, or like keep your voice
Yeah,
down.
yeah,
Stop
yeah.
talking so much.
I actually know who you're talking to later. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um.
Yeah.
Then we got Matt, who you talked about. McCole, who we really haven't gotten to see much of yet. We got Red, and then Riley, who is just stunningly great at Big Brother's first
Yeah.
competition.
First head of household, Riley.
Yeah. That's it was I'm always interested to know what like other people's thoughts are on winning the first head of household. Do you think it's a big deal for the grand scheme of the game?
It was interesting seeing most of the house guests throw and not want to win it. And I don't think that's discrediting Riley's win necessarily, because she had a great time. Like,
Yeah,
she
no one
beat
thinks that shit.
um
They say bitch all the time on this
yeah, and then
show.
Julie said it at the end. I was like,
Right? I was like, they're really running with the only curse word I guess they're allowed to say.
yeah, yeah, bye bye bitches.
Continue what you're saying.
And it was really interesting seeing like most of the house guests throw the competition and not want to be that first head of household because they don't want to get the blood on their hands. But I think it also shows like Riley's ability, because she had a great time. Like, and I don't think her win is discredited because a lot of people threw it. I think she had a great time, and I'm in respect to her for wanting that first head of household. And I
Mhm.
think if it were me, I would want that first head of household, because although you get that blood, eventually you're going to get some blood on your hands. You have all the connections immediately because everybody wants to talk to you in that first week. And it is so crucial to make those connections in the first week that can last you the entire show. Because I mean, like, if you're not the head of household and you're on the block, or you're just a nobody, it's going to be tough to like make those connections that will last the show.
Mhm. I agree with you. However, if one of the professors, that's like one of the new
Yeah.
if one of the professors wins HOH this week, Riley's probably the first one on the block.
Yeah.
It wouldn't make sense for them to not put her up at least. Maybe they don't because they're like don't want to like draw that line. But Izzy literally
Yeah.
came in and was like, "Hey, there's this side and there's this side." So like I feel like Riley could go home soon. Like my thing is, it's like if you can play your cards right and do something like Jag, where Jag is aligned with the
I
HOH.
love Jack.
Yeah, he's great. Where he's aligned with the HOH, but he's not like getting any blood on his
Yeah,
hand. That's a really
that's
good
true.
one. But Riley also, it's so funny because like you go from the like them being like, oh, it's an easy, you just vote somebody out this week and you get all the power and you make all these connections. But like a couple days into knowing who they are, like you already saw Riley like breaking down and being like, I can't do this. This is
I
too
felt so
tough.
bad.
It's
I
like,
mean, I feel like I've never seen this before. Like, I could be wrong, but where like the one side of the house knows that they're on the outside and they're telling the other side of the house, like, yeah, like you're aligned with this person, this person, this person, this person, this person, this person,
yeah.
this person. Like, I've never seen somebody go up to them and be like, yeah, I know this. And then Izzy did the same thing.
Yeah. And what's
Like,
crazy is that like Red was just saying like in the diary room, he was like, I uh he was like the older people are better because we're more like tight knit, we're more like
yeah,
loyal and everything. And I was like, wow, the older group might actually be stronger. And then when they go to Riley and are explaining that, I'm
yeah,
like I don't know if it's necessarily like a bad move because it doesn't seem like Riley's like,
yeah,
oh my gosh, like they're working on the other side. Like when she's talking to Red, being like, oh, Red's working on the other side.
yeah,
She makes it seem like he just guessed it, which like that's what he was aiming for too. But that just doesn't make sense. Like
yeah,
I don't know. It definitely seems like the older people could, their ego could honestly get in the way and make them think like they're smarter than them. And what it comes down to also for the older people is like they got to win competitions. It's great that
yeah.
you guys are all connected and everything, but I mean, like Outside of
Yeah.
Heisum, outside of Heisum, I don't know who's winning on that side.
Yeah.
Maybe,
It's gonna come down to like, yeah, getting that head of household and getting the power in their hands. Because if one of the bye bitches or the professors win a head of household, like things are gonna get so interesting.
yeah,
But like the eight are like all the like more athletic. So
hmm
if the head of household competition is something where you have to like hang on to something for as long as possible, like it's gonna be tough.
yeah, yeah. I mean, like you got Red, maybe you got Heisum. I don't really know who else is winning on that side, but I guess we could honestly just go into the uh what do we call it? The alliances really quick. You want to run through
Mhm.
those?
Yeah.
So the first alliance, the Phelynx, the Phalanx.
Oh yeah, the Phelix
Phalanx
Five.
5. Dang, that was real cool. That was,
That was formed in the gym, right? The
yeah,
workout room.
yeah, it was Luke's only big thing that he'll have on this show as he is no longer with us. Yeah, I mean, you really it's it's a tough look with the scandal because it's a every year thing now for Big Brother. Like the past like
Yeah.
million years, I feel like. But you know what? I feel like they kind of like they handled it in the best way possible. It's always interesting to see how the dynamics work out in the house
Yeah.
after something like that happens. And I think it's one of my favorite things about Big Brother, where it's like you watch real people live their life, and it's almost like better when it's away from the game because you're watching people on camera, like how they would interact throughout life. And so to
Yeah.
see how they, had the whole group meeting, Corey started talking, then Jared started
Yeah.
talking.
What did you think about that? About like Corey like explaining exactly what happened?
Yeah. I mean, it was interesting because when Corey's talking, I'm like, okay, that's what happened.
Yeah.
Like as a viewer, that's more or less like what was going on.
Yeah.
But then it was interesting to hear Jared chime in and be like, like his view on it made a lot of sense. And it
Yeah.
wasn't like, okay, everything that just happened in front of us is not like the full picture. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was, I need to know more because I just saw like the one clip. And I think in the show they showed it a little bit more to where like when you watch the one clip, of course, and someone's just dropping the N-word, it's like that doesn't there's no excuse for that. And
Yeah.
there's still no excuses, but like you see him leading up to it, and it's just like I don't know. It's just a tough thing where it's like
For sure.
I'm not surprised that Big Brother would like kick you out for that. Like
No,
Jared said, it's like going into the house, like if you say anything like this,
yeah.
you're gone. So
Like that was part of the code of conduct that took him out. I is there a way that we can look up like the entire list of the code of conducts, or is
well,
that?
I don't know. Big
And
Brother.
I also thought it was interesting that like Hassam was like, I didn't hear it, or like he was
Yeah,
like, yeah, he's like I, because Corey was like it was Hassam, it was me, and it was Jared, and Hassam was like, whoa,
yeah.
don't say my name here.
I wasn't a fan. I mean, if he didn't hear it, that's one thing.
Yeah,
But I'm not a fan of him if he did hear it and was
I
like
just
totally
yeah
like gonna let Corey be on his
on an
own.
island.
It
Yeah,
wasn't like Corey was doing anything wrong with what he was saying. He was kind of just bringing to the forefront what his experience like in the situation was. But I mean, like it was definitely a little bit of a tough like as a viewer being like,
yeah,
okay, like I like watching you guys like work through this all, but this situation is getting a little rough too.
yeah.
But
And I mean, like you said before, I mean, it just goes to like the realism of Big Brother. I mean, we see every season like these 16 people that have never met before, well, except for
yeah.
Jared and Siri, and like are just like being watched and have to like live a life and play this game.
Yeah. It's great and it was also it's always interesting, like even with Jared in the diary room, like, really having nothing but like great things to say about Luke. Like I
Yeah,
couldn't think of like anything like
yeah,
really negative on Luke's part. And yeah, it's interesting. I do wonder though, like if Big Brother, like of course it was said in the code of conduct, like don't say this, but I wonder
yeah.
if Big Brother casting is ever just like like, do you say the N-word in your day-to-day life?
They should
Do you
yeah.
what do you do? Like, like I feel like that's such an easy thing. And it's like it's not like it happened like 7 weeks in, and it was just like it was 3 days into like them being in the house. And I don't know. But that was Luke's claim to fame that he gave the name, which like was funny the way he said it, where it was like, hey guys, don't say it nerdy. It's cool. Phelynx 5. And I was like,
yeah.
but that was the downfall of Kirsten, really.
Yeah, and Kirsten was in that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's why, like, when she was like on the block, she wasn't worried. Or I think Riley was in that too.
Yeah, and Matt.
Which is why she was shocked that Riley didn't take her down.
Yeah.
And then Kirsten was kind of going to the Felicia and Siri for their help. Like, she felt betrayed by Siri. And if Jared and Siri weren't together, Siri's not going against Kirsten, because he literally sat down with Jared and was like, I like Kirsten. And Jared's like, well, she created a group of 8 on the other side of the house.
Yeah.
Or she didn't create a group of 8. She teamed up with the 5, but yeah. And
I feel bad for Kirsten. I mean, like, Kirsten, I just like, I would understand like being on the block, like you're gonna try and make connections with everyone to try and get yourself down. But also, like, I think if it were me, I would have been like, all right, well, there's 4 of us that are on the block right now. Like, only one's going home. Let me just try and slowly make connections and then try and win the power veto. But there's 4 of us, and if I could just blend in, like, and not have like a big painted target on my back, then hopefully the house will go after somebody else, or I can get the power veto and take myself down.
Yeah. I mean, the number one thing that I always like, if I was ever in the house, is just like patience is key. Whenever you think you're in, like, you got, like, it's the biggest moment right now. It's like, take 5 seconds and like, do I really need to do this? Do I really need to like create all these alliances like 30 seconds into the game? I don't know.
We got to get on the show.
Yeah, right. Like, come on now. We could be the next TWIST, bro. We know each other, but no one knows.
when this podcast blows up, Julie Moves will be like, we should. She's like, all right, I have an idea. She's talking to the casting. She's like, we should have the 2 guys from the Eavesdropping Houseguests podcast come on the show and see how far they can go.
And then she follows up, but we have to make sure they're available. And it was like, all right, I'll check my calendar to make sure. So,
I would be there so fast.
Oh yeah, it's like, I quit my job. But she's like, you don't have to quit your job. No, I already quit. So
The only thing that would be like weighing over me if I went to the Big Brother house was that I'm gonna be missing like the first few weeks of football. Yeah. It's like, who's gonna set my fantasy lineups?
Oh, you're right. That's why you got to get co-owners.
Yeah.
That's so funny. Can you set your fantasy lineup maybe? No, you definitely.
Yeah. Somebody gets hurt. I have no idea.
Yeah. So then at that point though, when the Phelynx 5 was created, like, there was no real alliance like yet, even. I kind of, Jared and Corey kind of just seemed like they came down just because like Riley was working with them. That was kind of straightforward there. We got 10 minutes on this Zoom before it would close out. Jared read so my top 4 favorites, I'm just like scrolling through like my notes right now, and that's I like Jared, Red, McCole, and America. I also like, I like Matt. I like Core. I like Heisem. I think Heisem is another one.
Cool.
Like, every time I see him on the screen, he's like an underrated person that I'm a fan of. Like, I see him on the screen, I'm like, oh, I love him. But then I don't read him off when like
For me, like, there's not really anybody that like I dislike yet.
Yeah.
Like, nobody is really rubbing me.
No, dude. I'm like, I got this beef with Corey, bro.
Yeah, all right, yeah, except for him.
I got this beef with him where every time he comes
I
on
think
screen, it's like,
I think kind of the reason why I'm like not the biggest fan of him is I'm kind of jealous.
yeah.
Like he's on Big Brother and
And
21 and a college student, and I'm 21 and a college student and not on Big Brother.
guess who took him off the block? In
Riley.
yeah, yeah, exactly.
If Riley ever took me off the block, I would be forever indebted to her. I
Hmm.
think I would be forever indebted to her regardless.
Yeah, without even the block. It's like you could put me on the block, and it's like,
Yeah,
thank you, I
yeah.
understand.
You could be the reason I go home. I don't care.
Yeah, see, Julie's like, yeah, Matt's not gonna be good on Big Brother anymore.
Would you get into a showmance?
I would say that I wouldn't, but I 100% would not put it out of question. Like
Yeah,
I would go in with the mindset like there's no way. Like
yeah,
I honestly confidently would think that there's no way. However, it's like when you're spending like that many days and you like find someone that like you might have like I
yeah. I
don't
have a good connection with.
know. Yeah, I don't because the second I say I won't, I like day three
Yeah,
in a showmance when I'm on.
like
But
from a game aspect, like it's like you don't see a lot of showmances like that can win because it paints a target on your
yeah.
backs because you like the house guests know that you two are like stick
Mhm.
together more than anybody else. But also like if you're in a showmance, like their TV is seeing you, and so that means my
Mhm.
parents would watch me. Like
Yeah. Yeah.
I
I
don't know if I
mean,
want that.
yeah, that's a very good point too.
I don't know if I want America seeing me like mingle.
Yeah. Like you guys just like in bed right next to each other, but
Yeah,
like, everybody's watching and like yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
It's always so like funny because like you get a lot of like the young like middle school or like what vibes where it's like should we kiss now? Like you because like you're on Big Brother and it's like that's a huge
yeah,
deal.
yeah,
But I always feel like showmances will get decently far in the game, but never really win. You know,
yeah,
yeah, like I mean, if you're in a final five and there's a showmance, you're voting that showmance out.
yeah.
It has to be like that.
Since we only have a few minutes left, I think we should say the timeline of what has happened so far, and then get
Okay.
into predictions.
Okay. Yep.
So, like we said, Riley won, had a household, and then who won the power veto?
Heisem.
Heisem won the power veto, and he decided not to use it. But the Riley winning the head of household was different than most because there are four people that were on the block.
Mhm.
He took down Jared and Corey, like you said, which left um, Kirsten and Felicia. And then so there's them two on the block. Heisem didn't use the power veto, and then voting was last night
Mhm.
or two nights ago.
With
When
the
this,
twist, yeah, yeah, we're recording this Friday, like the next day.
yeah,
But with the twist, it's there's two things I take away. One, it's so funny how like I don't know if it's cliche. It's not cliche, but it's like the I don't want to say this word because it'll be negative connotation, but it's not what I mean. It's like lame effects, like the most lame effects where it's like where the scary thing went off, where
yeah.
the house guest, and then it's
Also,
just like this
also, I feel like
terribly
everything.
animated portal in like
Yeah,
yard.
come on. What are we doing? I feel like everything is doing a multiverse now. Like,
Yeah. I was like, do you get your right? Did you get the rights for to say
yeah,
multiverse? Like
like
what?
because obviously Marvel,
Mm,
DC did it. Big
mm.
Brother.
The three superheroes, you know.
Yeah,
Oh,
the three
it is
pillars of good television.
it is funny how like not much has happened. So Julie will give like three, be like, and this all the twists and turns, you know, four people were on the block in episode one. Then you had like the scramble mixed up the house, and then who knows who's going home tonight, all because of the twist. And it's like,
Yeah,
well, like I think we're stretching that a little bit, but
I love Julie,
yeah.
and but like when they're doing the voting last night, I felt so bad for her because it's like 3-0 and like it's obvious that everyone's voting for
Yeah.
Kirsten and she's like, "Oh, who will Jared vote for?" Like
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like it's already going. Kirsten's already going home. I say Kirsten. Kirsten is already
Kirsten.
going
Yeah.
home, and she's like, and Siri clearly voting for Felicia is like Siri's been working with Felicia. It would be shocking to see her
Yeah.
not vote Felicia. It's like,
And she's just doing her job. Like
yeah,
she's just
of
trying
course.
to.
She's
So
amazing. She's amazing.
yeah, she's the best.
Alrighty. So
Predictions.
now Luke is gone, Kirsten's gone. Both sides are pretty much split with old and young right now. I feel like Izzy is the biggest loose cannon on the older people's house. But we also talked about they can't really win. I mean, you got to win competitions if you really want to do anything here. And then Kirsten going home was the easy vote, I felt like, for the house. So I didn't necessarily hate it, but I definitely didn't love it. Like if the younger people,
there was a little part of me that was like, are they gonna take out Felissa right now?
Yeah, and that's great producing and directing by the Big Brother, because I bet if we watch the live feeds and stuff, like we wouldn't.
There's no shot.
Like there's no shot. Yeah. Like I wonder. We should preface too. Like we watch every episode, and sometimes I'll watch after dark, BB after.
Yeah.
But I don't watch the live feeds like really ever.
Yeah.
So yeah, we will post this episode every Saturday, but you at home who watch the live feeds will know who won HOH. And
but don't tell us.
Yeah. Don't you know what? Comment it down below and I'll check it after I watch. Alrighty, so now we got I wrote the note here. The season is so over the top cheesy with its effects. Like cheesy was the word.
Yeah, there you go. Not lame.
Yeah, where Frankie
also kind of lame.
yeah. Frankie, Danielle, and the other girl are like, changing the house all around. Shout out Frankie, my first season watching.
Nice. That was a good one.
Danielle, a top 3 favorite Big Brother house guest of my time. I never saw her in the All-Star game, but I saw her in season 3 and she should have won. But okay. I say like what is the scary house? Stupid looking portal.
Yeah, I mean that was an interesting end. So Kirsten went home and then Julie checked in with the house and everyone was gone. And it showed the bubble of the scary verse was tingling. And nobody was in the house guest.
Really quickly before we go, like we got like a couple minutes left, but how long do you think these sides of the house stay split? Do you think it's for a lot of weeks? Do you think it's tomorrow they're gone?
I give it two more weeks.
Okay.
Like 2 more head of households and cycles. Because I think next week it's really going to depend on who wins the head of household, because one side of the house is going to take a shot at the other. And then the week after, something like that's going to happen again. But then I think Jared and Siri's secret's going to come out. And I think that's going to just mush the house into anything that we don't know.
Yeah, I mean, the second a big dog on either side goes home, that side's going to probably break up and whatnot.
Yeah.
I have a top power rankings list way too early. I was kind of just throwing people at the wall here because like I had nothing to go off of. The last 2 were pretty easy. Luke and then Kirsten. Then in 15th place, I got Bowie Jane. Don't really know what she's doing. I mean, like her own alliance forgets about her sometimes.
Siri didn't know her name.
Yeah. Then you got the next one, and this was completely biased. I got Corey. I also think Corey, like I said, like he's not gonna make those relationships, and he's already like Siri already knows he's a smart guy, you know.
Yeah.
Then he
might be playing it too strong, like Kirsten.
All right, so then after Corey, I got Matt. It's really based off the fact I think there's really nothing like for the next like 3 people. I got Matt, then America, and then McCole. And I really feel like I don't know. I just think Matt might get voted out first out of those 3, being that he just seems like the more athletic guy, and like people like him. Like America, McCole. Like there's really just no difference.
Yeah.
I mean, you could.
Did you see when Matt was casting his vote, and then Julia was like, "Thank you, Matt."
Yeah.
No, I guess he didn't hear.
Yeah.
Like, how deaf like is he? Like,
dude, I was wondering the same
thing.
Like
when people are talking to him, he's like, But like, does he have to be like really close to them, or like, does he have a
Yeah,
hearing aid?
because
I have
clearly
so many questions.
he didn't hear Julie when she said that.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm the same way where like I was curious about that, or maybe he got like his hearing more improved as like the years
yeah,
went on, you know. But yeah, I mean, I'm rooting for him, but I don't know. The next two
how
on the
could be
list,
wrong?
I got Jared. I got Jared, and then I got Siri above her,
Wow.
above him. I feel like they're kind of right in the middle where it's like I don't know if they have an advantage or a disadvantage in this game, but I
Yeah.
know Siri's gonna go further than Jared.
As of right now, I think it's an advantage
Yeah.
because they know all the information that's going around the house.
Mhm. Yeah, but if
But
it's an
if their
advantage,
secret's exposed, then they're
yeah,
really
like if it's an advantage for week 1 through 4, but you get exposed in week 5 is an advantage because the grand scheme
yeah,
is you're not even
for
making
sure.
three at that point.
Yeah,
And then I have Izzy above them because it's just like she has their secret. So I feel like they're gonna do what they can to keep Izzy safe for the time being. And she just has something over on them. I do think Izzy though, like maybe she should have went a little bit lower just because like she can't talk to people outside of her life.
yeah,
It really is weird. Then I got Blue. She just seems like a fun person who's in that top five
yeah.
where it's
She
like,
does really seem really fun. Like I
yeah,
like at a dance club. Like
yeah, exactly. Then I got Cameron and Red. I put Red above Cameron just because
I like
I
that.
don't really know actually. I feel like he's a little bit more secured in the older people group, whereas Cameron is in that handful alliance, which I think is a sick alliance. That handful
Yeah,
is pretty sick. But I mean, he's just not the youngest guy in that group. So if they go off age, but I don't think they will do it off age. I don't really know. I mean, he's top 5. Like I said, a lot of these don't really have that much reason.
yeah,
It's just like this area I'd put them in.
yeah.
Um,
Tears.
yeah, and then I put Felicia at 4 just because I feel like she's so smart. She
Yeah,
has people in the house to go with. The only thing that she has not for her, and this is a huge thing, is that she's already on the block. So it's an easy person for people to just be like, okay, you're going back on the block. Like that's
yeah.
like how it is. But
She's gonna be like the number one pawn.
exactly, yeah. And then you got at 3, I have Jag, who just seems like he'll be pretty good competition guy and social guy as well. And he secured HOH. He secured a final 2 with the HOH last week. They
Yeah,
seem like a pretty strong final 2. Final 2, I don't know. And then Riley at 2, I have, and then Heisem at 1. Just because I can't see anybody if you had to put like name your top 5 you'd vote out right now. I don't think anybody's putting Heisem on that list.
yeah,
I just think he's so secured.
yeah,
Maybe they are thinking that, but I mean, like the only reason I'm thinking it is because everybody loves him so much, you know.
yeah.
But yeah,
It's a good
Riley
one.
seems like a competition beast, and she's just also like this isn't
She's
like
just like perfect.
yeah, and it isn't shocking to like be someone who like is so hot to go far because of looks. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like that is a thing that's happened in the past as well. So,
yeah.
yeah, I feel like that kind of wrapped up my power rankings. Hopefully, they become a little bit more understandable. The only people I'll probably like hang my hat on are my top 5: Heisem,
Yeah.
Riley, Jag, Felicia, and Red. I don't
All
really
right.
got.
So if you had to plant your flag in one person to go all the way right now,
Mhm.
who are you going?
Ooh, my work alarm. Ooh, you know what I said last year? I had Taylor and Michael in my top 3
Wow.
picks. Yeah. And I said Michael just like as long as like he just can't win comps. That was like my one knock against Michael. And wouldn't you know, he ended up winning every comp. So
Yeah, he was in.
I don't know. Like, I guess I'll put it with
All right. Give
Jag.
me
I'll go
3.
with Jag.
Jag.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll go
Okay.
Jag. Jag's also probably my favorite, I'd say too.
Yeah, I love Jag.
Yeah, Jag, or maybe we just don't know anything about Mimi or America yet for me to even like
Yeah,
think about them. Like I'm not thinking Bowie Jane. I'm not thinking Izzy. I'm not thinking Siri. There's no way Siri gets to the final.
yeah.
But maybe Riley, but I always feel like the first HOH gets taken out sooner or later.
Yeah.
I don't know. Who do you think?
I'll stick with Matt, but also I like Cameron or America.
Yeah. Yeah, that's good too. Yeah. Red is so funny where everybody's like, I'm gonna throw this competition, or Riley's like, I'm gonna give it my all, or I'm gonna win this competition, and Red's just like, I'm gonna do my best.
Yeah, I love Red.
Alrighty. So I feel like that kind of wraps up episode 1 of the
First week of
Dropping
Big
House.
Brother in the books.
Let's go. Let's go. It's actually the second week, right? Or is it the first week? No, it is the first week.
Yeah,
We
first
only
like
had one
cycle.
eviction. Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow, we're back, baby. It only
yeah,
until August 2nd, but I'm glad that the show is back.
yeah,
There were a lot of rumors, I feel like, between some of the seasons, like, is it gonna come back this year or not? But it's always
yeah.
back. Big Brother's a staple.
Yeah.
Alrighty. And now the Eavesdropping Houseguests podcast is a staple. Alrighty. Well, thanks for watching. Tune in next Saturday or Sunday, whenever the pod comes up. And we'll have all the social media and anything like to kind of stay up with the pod in the bio below. I don't know if we'll have anything on this episode, but if we have it, it'll be below. You can check it out.
Yep. And like Julie says, love one another.
Wow. That was an amazing end. Let's go. Peace out.